Okay, so today is Wednesday, 14th of May 2025, 11 a.m. Temperature about 26 degrees centigrade, 80 Fahrenheit, humidity 75%, which is about average for this time of the year in my subtropical climate. Um, the title of the video is Scrub Out the Tubs, Yes or No? Which maybe sounds a bit dramatic, but just my shorthand way of trying to describe what I'm talking about today. First of all, though, maybe look at the orchids growing on the tree, on the tree trunk. People throw them away, they buy them, throw them away, sometimes give them to us. We rescue them, tie them up on the tree, and they bloom again. I think it's too much sun for these to survive the summer, so I'll probably move them somewhere else later on when they finish blooming. Now, I very much like to be able to see my MEDAKA in clean, clear water. And if you look at these, the black orochi, first of all, I like to see them swim about when I'm watching them. Let me take the cover netting off. And also, you can see how healthy they are in the clear water, and also I can see if there are any fish with deformities, and I can then move those to a mixed MEDAKA tub, so they're not breeding from them. So that means no green water, and I always say, I never take the conventional view. The green water is good. To me, it indicates maybe too many nutrients in the water, which maybe is not good for the fish. So I'm happy to have clear water in all my tubs. And also, as in this tub, I'd like to see the MEDAKA in a tub where the colour of the walls, the background colour, if you like, complements the colour of the MEDAKA. And for example, these black orochi in here, I think look very good in this sort of light bluey green colour. And I scrubbed out this tub last week because the biofilm growing on the walls of the tub has started to become a very dark colour, and it's not easy to see the fish. And this is a tub where the biofilm had become very dark. It doesn't look so much as though it is on the video, but because it contrasts the colours, trying to get a good picture, if you like. But if you look at this, normally this biofilm growing on here looks very, very dark. And the biofilm, it's good. It's a source of food for small MEDAKA, and it includes the beneficial bacteria which nitrify the ammonia and nitrites. So that brings me to the scrub out the tubs, yes or no question. Obviously, scrubbing off all the biofilm destroys all the beneficial bacteria growing on the walls of the tub. But in all my tubs, I have a filter of some sort. In this case, it's a small sponge filter. So that sponge filter been in there a long time. It's fully capable of dealing with any ammonia, the problem that there might be in the tub. So in my case, the answer is yes. I do scrub out my tubs, and I don't think I have a problem doing that. If I didn't have existing filters, and I was relying on the beneficial bacteria and the biofilm in the tub's walls, then the answer would be no. I wouldn't scrub out my tubs. But maybe instead of scrubbing out the tub, I'd perhaps carefully wipe over the walls with a cloth if I wanted to remove some of the biofilm to see the fish better. Alternatively, if I had no choice, had to totally scrub out the tub, I'd rely on frequent 30% water changes for the first few weeks to reduce potential ammonia problems if I didn't have that sponge filter there. So looking at this tub here, MEDAKA are happy. The water is reasonably clear, but the dark layer of biofilm on the tub's walls means it spoils my enjoyment of watching MEDAKA, and a total scrub out is required. As I say, on the video it doesn't look as dark as it actually is if you look at it visually. So, netted the fish and put them in a bowl in another tub, and siphoning out the water, taking out the sponge filter, and there's the scrubbing brush. So I'll get down to scrubbing it all out. Now, I don't know what sort of biofilm this is, but I've been scrubbing away on this bit over here, and well, it's still not coming off as easily as I've ever had before. So what it is growing in here, I don't know. You can see it's very dark. So what I'm going to do is let this dry out for several days and see whether that will scrub off more easily. In the meantime, the MEDAKA over there, that's an empty tub, so I'll put them in there for a few days until maybe I move them back into here. So, change of plan. So, there we are. It is now reasonably clean, still stuff on the bottom. In the end, I gave up on the sponge, on the brush. It's not strong enough, not stiff enough, and found it quite easy using the stainless steel scrubber to get the worst of it off. Now I'm going to tip in some 3% hydrogen peroxide. I might as well partially sterilize it while I'm here. And doing this, maybe there are too many snails in there before, maybe to kill off any snail eggs that might still be there. The fish is still happy in there. There's too much reflection. But the fish is still happy in there, so leave them there for a bit longer. I'll tip the hydrogen peroxide in here, fill the whole thing up with water, cover it over to make it dark for several days, because hydrogen peroxide decomposes in daylight. Cover it over for 2 or 3 days, then empty it out, fill it up with water, and maybe put the fish back in. So I've left the hydrogen peroxide in there for a few days. Maybe you can see the bubbles on the surface of the water. Hydrogen peroxide sort of degrades any organic material in the tub. I think it's cleaned it up a bit. Maybe it's destroyed any snail's eggs that might be there. I found before that hydrogen peroxide is maybe not strong enough to destroy hair algae. I needed to use bleach for that, but for what I want now, just clean this tank up a bit, get rid of a bit more of the biofilm. Hydrogen peroxide is fine, and now I'm going to siphon it out and fill up the tub with clean fresh water. Now I'll put the fish back in. So we've got this my submersible pump in my reservoir of dechlorinated tap water, and filling up the tub, ready for the fish. So there we are, clean fresh water in the scrubbed out tub, fish floating in a bowl. I've got a big pipette type thing like this, and I just maybe once every half an hour or something, if I go by, I just add a bit of the fish are in the water from the tub I got them from, and now I'm just adding in the fresh water bit by bit to acclimate the fish to the new water. So all the fish hopefully are well acclimated now to the new fresh clean water. So I'm just going to scoop them out and put them in. Don't really want to tip the old water in. I think the old water's still alright, but just avoid taking the old water with them. We can start off with completely new water, and there we are. I still got to put a filter in and a spawning mop, but I think by tomorrow they'll start laying eggs again. That's it. Yeah, I scrubbed out the tub. I think they're okay. I've never had any fatalities doing this. Whether it does adversely affect some of them going completely fresh water, I don't know. But I think having put in a filter, beneficial bacteria are there, they're well acclimated, so should be okay. Okay.